Hey everyone, it's Patty from PS Paper Crafts, and I'm going to show you how to make this card today. I'm going to make it a birthday card, but this one is with deepest sympathy, and it has these lovely lily pad flowers and the designer series paper. So this is the inside, and I wanted to just show you this product. This is all free during Sale-A-Bration. So Sale-A-Bration is from January 3rd to March 31st, and there's different products you can earn if you spend a certain amount of money. So the lily pad dies, if you spend $100, you would get these dies for free, and they're really beautiful. The stamp set is free with a $50 purchase, and these are reversible stamps, and I'll show you what that means. So you kind of get double the stamps. You get the detail, and then you kind of get a background. It's something new Stampin' Up came up with at the holiday. They had those coffee cups that were reversible, and they were pretty cool. And then there's this beautiful paper, and that's free with a $50 order. So get one or all or whatever you want. Let me show you the paper. It's kind of like a Monet is what I would say, like an impressionist. It's really pretty. So one side, you get two of each, and one side is like a floral impressionism type painting, and then there's a solid kind of brush stroke. So they're really beautiful. There's all different colors. I think you could just whip out a pretty card just by cutting a piece of this and putting a sentiment on it. You don't even need to do much more. This is a little wild. I'm not sure about the flirty flamingo in it. A little wild for me, but this I love. So anyway, these are the different patterns. This is the one we're using. So this is the one side, and we're using this side. And I just love the green. It's a garden green, and I thought it would be a nice background for this card. So let's get started. I have my pieces cut, and again I'm using garden green, and then I have a whisper white layer just to kind of pop it up a little bit, and then the designer series paper layer. And I'll have all the dimensions on my blog, pspapercrafts.com. So we're going to do some stamping, and we're going to do some die cutting. So let's get our stamping done first. What I'm going to do is I have a piece of Melon Mambo, and I'm going to stamp it in Melon Mambo ink. So you stamp the same color on the same color, and it's nice because it coordinates perfectly. You can do a lighter color if you wanted to, but I'm just going to go ahead and stamp this. That's the big one, and then I will stamp the smaller one. And I'm going to step away and cut these out in a minute. So we'll do those, and then for the lily pads, this part, I'm going to stamp them on Whisper White. So I'll get a scrap of Whisper White, and I'm doing them in the garden green. And this is where I'm going to use the reverse side of the stamp. So I'm going to first do my detailed one, and then I'll clean off the stamp and flip it over. Let's make sure you can see what I'm doing here. And I did that wrong. Let me just clean this off. You know what? I didn't clean it off and flip it over the last one I did. 1 second. Let's do this again. There's always two sides, right? I like to do the detail first because then I feel like you can see through it nicely. So I'm just going to flip it over. So you got a quick view of what that would look like. So let's do this again. We're going to ink this up and stamp it. And then let me get the small one. Whoops, I did the same thing here. So I'm going to just flip it and stamp it. Now I'm going to clean these, and then I'm going to flip the stamp over and kind of fill in the other side, but I am going to stamp off first so I get a lighter shade. So let's just put this aside. Let me get a little scrap here. And what I'll do is I'm going to just flip these over. So this is like the smooth side. And I will just ink it up. And I'm going to stamp it first to get that first layer off. And then I'll just line it up. And you could stamp it off twice if you wanted. It doesn't matter. And it goes out a little bit, but that's okay. We're going to cut it off anyway. And it's supposed to look like a watercolor, so it doesn't matter that it's not completely perfect. So let's do this. Okay, so we have these to cut out, and I'm going to just step away. What I'm going to do is I'll take my dies, and let me show you the dies. So these are the dies. You can cut out this stamped images with these. You can cut out one that's a cutout kind of, so you wouldn't stamp this. You can cut this out of this paper, and it will just give you the lines, and then you could back it up with something lighter or darker, whichever way you want to go. So it has the lily pad, so we're going to use this one for this one for this. We've got the big flower and then the smaller flower, and there's even a smaller one. And then we're also going to cut this out of Whisper White, and that's this piece, and I think it's really pretty. It's a little bit longer, so I had to cut one little piece off, but that's okay. So I'm going to step away. I'll cut this all out and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I have my little box of goodies, so I cut these two out, and I just wanted to show you. So I have the two flowers and the lily pads, and these are the dies, so I'll just put these on here. And then I wanted to show you this piece. So this piece, I just cut it out with my white, and I'm just going to brush it. This is a tool that really makes it nice for intricate dies. You just kind of brush it while it's still in the die, and then you can push it out. If it doesn't pop out, you can push it out with the there's little tiny holes here, and this brush is the old one, but now it comes as a piece that you can put onto this tool, so it would just screw on and off. It's pretty cool. So you just push these holes out and it will pull it out, and you can push them all the way down or just pull it out. Okay, so this is a pretty cool tool to have. I use it all the time. And let's put this with the dies so we don't lose it. So we have all of these pieces done, and now we want to do our sentiment. So this one again says with deepest sympathy. I'm going to make one that's a birthday card. So I'm going to just let me see if I could squeeze it on this. I'm going to do a happy birthday, and I'm going to punch it out with this. I just want to make sure it'll work. Try to get every little last bit out of that scrap of paper. So I'm going to stamp this in the Melon Mambo. And then I'm going to punch it with this punch. And I just want to get it all centered nice. Ooh, that wasn't good. That's okay, it's on the back. Okay, and let's see. We want to do the inside. So on the inside, I had Thinking of You with All My Heart. On this inside, I'm going to do a birthday sentiment. So I already have it mounted. And again, these come from the Peaceful Poppies stamp set. So this is what I use. So I have the happy birthday, and I'm going to do wishing you every happiness this special day will bring. And this was the deepest sympathy and the Thinking of You with All My Heart. So this is a great set for sentiments. And that's in the mini catalog, the spring 2020 spring mini catalog. So I'm going to just stamp this right up here. And then I'm going to stamp the small flower right in this corner. And I'm going to clean it and do the same thing. I'm going to fill it in with the back of the stamp. So let me just clean it off with my chamois. I love this thing. It looks terrible, but it does a great job. And now I have the back, which is smooth. And we want to get that scrap paper back. Just get a layer of ink off and then line it up. And again, it doesn't line up 100%, but it's kind of a watercolor look, so that's the way it's supposed to be. So we have all our stamping done. Let's put our card together. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue up the back, and I use my liquid glue and put it on the white layer. And it's a pretty tight layer. I like to do very tight layers so that it just gives a little bit to pop. Hope that makes sense. And then we'll put this right on this card. So we'll go right back here. Center it. Isn't that pretty? I think if you put the green on without the white, it would just kind of like all blend in together. And let's put the inside in while we're here. And I just put a little bit of glue. It's very strong, so you don't need that much. And I just put it around the outside edges. Okay. Now we want to try to place everything. Well, we've got to cut this down. I'm going to just cut one of these off. So I'll just take my paper snips and just cut it right down. And then I'm going to just kind of take off those sharp edges so it doesn't look like I cut it. Okay, so that will go across the middle. And then we have our big lily pad. I like to just place everything before I put it down. And then our smaller one. And our sentiment. So that's what we're going to do. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is just put this down, and I just put a strip just across the middle because it's a nice kind of thick piece. I don't care about the top and bottom, it's going to hold it well. And we'll just put that right across. Okay, and then what I did was I just put a little glue on the bottom of my flower, my lily, and put it on here. And we'll do the same thing here, and then we'll put the whole thing down. Now you can pop this up. I popped up the sentiment with dimensionals, but I did not pop these up. I didn't think it needed it. But you go ahead. Oh, here's the back that we did, or that I did incorrectly. All right, and I'm going to put this kind of like on a little angle. And then we'll put this one up. See how fast the glue dries? I mean, it gives you a little bit of time to move things, but then it sticks pretty well. We'll put that like that. And then I'm going to put this up with dimensionals just to pop it up a little bit. That's where I dropped it in the ink. All my mistakes are on the back, but that's okay because nobody will see them. You know, but nobody else will know, right? So I'll take these off. And then I'm just going to add a few rhinestones. And I always look to see what I have and what matches, and do I need to color them, because you can color the pearls and the rhinestones with your stamping blends, but I try to see if I have them already in that color. So I came across, I did have the Noble Peacock rhinestones, and these are Melon Mambo. Perfect, right? So that's the color we're using, and I'm just going to put it down with my little tool here, and I put these right in the center of this design here. I don't know what you call it. They look like peacock to me. but it's not the peacock stuff. This is the lily pad stuff. So I'm just going to put one right in the middle of each of these. And then I'm going to put one here that's a little bit bigger, the bigger size, just to add that there. Okay, so that's the card. Happy birthday. Wishing you every happiness this special day will bring. Or the sympathy card. I think they're both beautiful. I think they're great for either of the occasions. I don't know if you'd call sympathy an occasion, but either of those kinds of needs for cards. But anyway, thanks for joining me, and check out my website, pspapercrafts.com, and you can get all the information. You could shop for products there. Remember, these are all free products, so if you have an order that you want to place, I'd love for you to place it with me and then earn some of these products. All right, you take care. Thank you. Bye.